The concept of humanity creating an artificial or mechanical being in its own image has been pondered over for at least a century. It's a truly fascinating concept, and one such thought that goes along with it is, could those beings really learn? Could they really live? Could they really love? And what does that mean for us as human beings? What does it mean for the world as a whole? Well, here are 4 robot films with heart. First up is the 1986 film Short Circuit, starring Steve Guttenberg. I hope you thank the Stonecutters for that one. And along with the Gutenberg, as he likes to be called sometimes, or at least that's what I make up in my head, is Ali Sheedy, who has ditched the club for some animals and a robot. That's a good choice, I'd say. Now, aside from the racist caricature, this film is actually very delightful. It's also funny as hell. Even the racist caricature has some really funny lines. And it's not because it's a racist caricature, it's just those lines are legitimately funny. And on top of everything else, the movie's really kind of sweet. By the end, you want to see Johnny Five and friends drive off into that sunset. They earned it. It was a fun romp. It was a wild-ass time with lasers and machine gun fire and helicopters. It's a very underrated film that you should give at least a watch. Or 2, or 3, or 5. Next up is Bicentennial Man from 1999, starring Robin Williams, Sam Neill, Beth Davids, and Oliver Platt. This film is a unique example of when something very wholesome and heartfelt and whimsical is pushed to that tipping point to where it becomes very, very creepy. And yet, Robin Williams is so damn lovable, and Sam Neill is so damn sincere. So much so that the joys and sorrows of a robot learning about living rings true. But also, I'm sure this was and is very off-putting to many people. And some of the lines and just whimsy of it all is so on the nose that it's sickening. Though flawed, there is much beauty in it, much like human nature. I'm sure the loss of Robin Williams probably added to the feelings I had rewatching this film that I hadn't seen in over 20 years. But it really hit me. And it is worth a watch to you if you're curious as to how even an android can cry. Third up is Terminator II. Yeah, I know. Shut up though. In this one, Arnie learns to live and love thanks to John Connor. And to John, he's a great companion / father figure / action star. What more could you want? There's really not much else to say about it, other than this T-800 model was the sole figure that really became a key moment in Sarah and John's life, in which Sarah regained hope. Hope that their fate can change. Hopefully it's not a dark fate. I mean, who would want that? I mean, could you imagine? I deserve that. Last up is another gut-wrenching story about a future full of whimsy and uncertainty. I'm speaking, of course, about 2001's AI, Artificial Intelligence, starring Haley Joel Osment and Jude Law as a gigolo. Gigolo Joe. You want to see it now, don't you? It feels like they tried to do the story of Bicentennial Man again, with that sweet, creepy ratio tipping to either side at times. It's really hard to find a balance because you want to explore both aspects of that. Robots can be sweet, they can also be very creepy, and somewhere in between is living. Now, the story of Bicentennial Man was basically taken from a short story by Isaac Asimov, who created the 3 Laws of Robotics. And all I know about this film that I bothered to look up is that Stanley Kubrick was directing it, and as a last wish, he wanted Steven Spielberg to finish it. So Steven Spielberg finished it for his friend, and that's very sweet. I really recall all those years ago watching this ending, and it got to me. It bothered me. It made me think about life and what it really means to live and how short it can be, and how some things will last forever, but a lot of it doesn't. And fortunately, 2 things that last forever is love and memories. Yeah. love, and memories. Ship, deactivate holodeck simulator.